Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a Bowser item. We don't get Bowser items very often, but this is an SD40-2 from Bowser. I hear that it has some of the industry best lighting effects, so we'll take a look at that. It's equipped with ESU LokSound, which, as you've seen on the channel, usually has really good sound, so I'm excited to get into this box and see what this locomotive is about. MSRP, I believe, is $299.99, but I am seeing pricing out there on the internet, and I'm sure there's hobby shops as well in the mid to low twos. So let's get started on the review of this Bowser SD40-2. Let's kick this unboxing up a notch. Those of you aware of Bowser packaging understand that on the bottom there are two screws, I should say, to remove from the fuel tank to release the locomotive, so we'll do that. Alright, the locomotive is freed. Before we take a closer look, you get this bag of accessories here that are detail parts that you can add on, and you have the documentation, which I'll skip, but covers CVs, functions, and that's what we'll be running off for this review. Alright, absolutely beautiful red, white, and blue scheme in BC rail. We're going to start at the front here. You got low mounted ditch lights, you've got coupler cut levers, you've got metal couplers with accessory hoses that have silver tipped ends. You've got a coupler stand that does flip up and down right here in the center. You've got stanchions, safety chain. You have an extra handrail here. I'm not real familiar with BC rail, but there's a handrail protruding from the front. Have what appears to be lift lugs right above the ditch lights. Stanchions are pretty sturdy, not moving a lot for plastic, very straight for plastic. Brake wheel on the nose, separately applied grabs, LED headlight. I hear the class lights is where the lighting functions are like nothing else in the industry currently. You've got windshield wipers, sunshades that are in the down position, cab interior detail, nice detail on the trucks here, including sanding lines, fuel tank detail. You've got the dustbin hatch up top, lift rings there as well that are nice. They appear to be sturdy yet detailed. You've got 4 antennas there on the roof. I'll show you some roof detail later. Behind the dustbin hatch you got the exhaust, the horn, dynamic brake fans, and the radiator fans. Nice safety tread on the walkway there. Towards the back you'll see nice details on the rear as well. Handrail detail, separately applied handrails are nicely done. You've got one on the top there, sand filler hatch, single lens light on the rear, and again a set of 3 classification lights on the rear. All the same detail you find on the front, including coupler cut lever. Compartment detail is nice, not too shallow, not too deep. Got a sight glass right here as well. And again, more of the same with the detail on the trucks. That's all we're going to cover. There's a lot more. You got a sand filler hatch up there on the nose too, but a lot of detail I'm not covering, but you can see for yourself and kind of ooh and ah over the detail. But the detail looks nice and the sturdiness of the locomotive is nice. Stanchions are nicely done. They're not popping out. They are firm, yet they're straight. Not a lot of wave in the handrails, or hardly any wave at all. So a little hard to see on the blue handrails with the blue background, so you might have to take my word for it, but I believe this is a well executed, well detailed model. Alright, we have track power applied here, and for ESU LokSound decoders, the F8 is the startup, so we'll start with F8. Here's a startup sequence. Let's listen to the sounds. I'm going straight off the manual for sounds, because for folks that don't know all the features of these locomotives, that's what they're probably going to use. Bell. Air horn is F2. What I like about ESU is the throttle, or the decoder response time is very quick. There's no lag. Coupler F3. F4 dynamic brake. It's usually when moving. F5 is class lights. Each time you hit, it's white, green, red. It'll cycle through each color. There's one. There's green. There's red. So white, green, and red. White, green, red class lights, as you can see there. You also have lighting the ditch lights and upper. I don't know really what these lights are called. Learn something new every day other than the class lights here, but there's some lighting on the front I'll show you in a minute that I'm not really familiar with. Alright, you'll see on the nose there's what appears to be two sets of ditch lights, a lower and an upper, but I could be wrong on what that upper set of lights is called. And then the nose light, all LED, all white without being blue. Actually just a hint of yellow, nice prototypical look there. I'm going to check slow speed control. One feature I really like is F10, which is the independent brake. You can set it and basically rev the engine up and then let it go, which is very cool. But here's one speed step. Very, very smooth. Two speed steps. 3, 4, and 5. A very, very smooth operation. And forward, let's check reverse here. Let's do it up too fast. Let's see, one speed step. 2. 3. 4 and 5. Kind of jumped around there a little bit. But there you have it. Slow speed control is very, very good. I'm going to take a quick gander at pull test here. Got 2.8, which means about 40 to 45 cars. From what I understand, each ounce is about 15 cars. 2.8 was the total there. Hope that was in frame. It looked like it might have slipped out of frame a little bit, but you guys can trust me. I'm not going to lead you wrong. All right, we're going to weigh this locomotive. It's in grams right now. We'll just leave it there to start. 550 grams, 0.550 kilograms. You've got 1 pound, almost 1.25 pounds, about 1.21 obviously. 1 pound, 3.4 ounces, or 19.4 ounces. So that's pretty robust for such a short locomotive. Over a pound, that's pretty good. And the pulling power shows that, as like I said, it can pull 40 to 45 cars on its own. Have a gander at the NMRA wheel set standards gauge here. Wheels are in specs so far. Let's see here, good, good, and good. Check coupler height with this KD coupler height gauge. Appears to be dead on. On the rear, let's go to the front. Also dead on. Before we wrap this review up, I do want to show you the independent braking. This is F10. So I went ahead and enabled F10. So it's the independent brake. I'm going to go ahead and start revving this up here. I'm at 15 speed steps, 25, 30 speed steps. Obviously it's not going anywhere because the independent braking is on. But if I take it off, it'll begin to move up to the speed step that was originally put in. So it's kind of good on your models because you can obviously simulate that it's under load and starting to move. You can play with this a lot as you know the coupler slack gets out of the consist or whatever and the prime mover starts spinning up, but the locomotive hasn't been able to really move yet because it's still spinning up to move the consist, things like that. It's cool to play with F10. That's going to be about it, and we will kind of finish up with our final thoughts. Well, that's going to wrap up the review of the Bowser SD40-2. I think it's a great locomotive. I think the price is right, and I think the sounds, details, drive are all really well done. I really couldn't find anything wrong with this locomotive. I know some people have issues with the fact that they have to unscrew it out of the box. I mean, that's getting super picky. But I can't really think of anything. I think it's a well-executed, well-done locomotive. Bowser is really good for balancing detail along with durability. So I noticed that. And I noticed some really nice sounds, some features to make the hobby enjoyable, like the F10 I talked about, the function where you can independently brake. So overall, great company in Bowser, great company in ESU, and a match made in heaven when you combine those both. The classification lights obviously being a nice lighting feature, along with the high-mounted ditch lights. You guys can correct me. I'm learning more and more as I review more and more different types of locomotives, but those two sets of ditch lights were kind of throwing me off. I'm going to leave you the run-by of just the locomotive on my grade crossing. Gotten a lot of questions about why I'm using the grade crossing lately more than the other scenes. I've used the other scenes so much I just tried to do something different for a while. So we'll use the grade crossing throughout the summer. And then as the fall comes back, I may put up the backdrop on the grade crossing. I plan on adding some more scenes to the layout, and we'll mix things up again. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.